Welcome to the Roadshow podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roadshow. Today on the podcast, we have a very, very special set of guests. We have Max.
Hey.
And Beth.
Yo, yo.
From Suddenly Single podcast. What's happening?
Oh, what isn't happening?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, our lives are a massive roller coaster right now, and Suddenly Single podcast is a big part of that.
All right, so tell me about it. How did you guys get into this podcasting scenario that you guys are building?
Good question. Max, you kick it off.
Well, we both found ourselves in a position where we were single again unexpectedly in our late 20s. So like Beth had been in a relationship for 5.5 years.
Ooh.
I was married and in a relationship for 7 years.
Damn. Right.
And then,
Spoiler alert. They didn't work out.
It's not suddenly married.
Not married at first sight, for
No.
sure. And then, we just found like all these little interesting things that were happening to us in the single space that I think are happening to a lot of people, but it's not really something that gets talked about. Just even things like the awkwardness of going on first dates and like the pressure of dating now, because it's like you're looking for a life partner rather than just like a relationship.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's been a journey, like some ups and some downs. So we kind of just wanted to laugh it off and open up the conversation about some stuff that's like hard to talk about.
Interesting. I like that concept.
Yeah.
Right? It's because you're being vulnerable to an audience as well. So it kind of gives you like a different insight. And plus, if you've got each other, well, then you can bounce off each other, have a bit of fun with it too.
Totally.
Yeah, and it's mostly being single is quite fun, and I guess you forget that, especially when you've been in a long relationship.
Yeah, you can kind of get bogged down in like the heartbreak of it.
Yeah.
So to remember that actually this is a massive time for like change and growth. It makes it more exciting and fun.
So how long have you guys been single? I know. I was asking.
Just got to do the math here.
Well, Beth since August, I think.
So what's that like? 7 months?
7 months, yeah.
August, yep. It's about that, yeah.
And my marriage ended in October 2021.
Was it COVID?
I was a big part of it. Yeah, that was a big consideration.
Locked
I was living
in
in Melbourne at that time, so
right.
the pressures were extra because Melbourne was so locked down at that time. So
okay, right. Yeah, that killed a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
it sure did.
Yeah, it started a lot of stepmom porn too. Have you heard about that?
What?
Yeah.
Well, I knew there was stepmom porn, but I didn't know that was
bigger
like
now?
from...
Yeah, it's massive now because everybody was locked in and they were just fantasizing about this woman that they...
Oh my god!
It's not my mom. Why can't... You know what I'm saying?
The options are so small that
Yeah. She'll do.
Yeah.
Close
Actually,
proximity.
I have heard the whole like sister thing as well.
Yeah, right.
Became really big in the whole like...
What, step-sister or full sister?
Well,
I fucking hope not.
Step-sister, surely. But it's like one of my guy friends told me about the whole like, I'm stuck thing.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Have you... I didn't know that was...
Stuck in a washing machine? Have you not heard about this?
No.
Or stuck under the bed? I'll help you get out, but first,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Like, surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she's
wow.
doing it in like booty shorts. You're like, why are you doing
And, like-
laundry in booty shorts?
And like she's not stuck.
Sure.
There's got this much room between her and the head.
She's just kind of like, oh, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And then-
Classic.
No, bend your elbows.
yeah, it's just like...
If you get stuck under a bed and it's because your elbows aren't bent, you deserve to get fucked by your stepbrother.
Well, you're
Yeah.
obviously
I think that's
hinting that
fair.
you want it, like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's it's porn, so it's very much a setup.
Well,
You think?
oh no, what do I do?
But I was just like, I was so dumbfounded when someone showed me that. I was like, what the heck is this?
There's so many different variables in porn nowadays. But one thing that you don't see a lot of is like old women with young men, as in like it's just, you know, it's always the young mum with like the
Would
younger
you like
guy.
to see more of that?
I just think it would be, you know, like appropriate.
Yeah, even it out.
Yeah, even it
Okay,
out, you
yeah.
know? There's other people that like other shit too.
Yeah.
Why are they just sticking to one genre?
Yeah.
Other people like that, you know.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one.
No. So what was like the jump to get you guys doing podcasts? Were you guys like talking like crazy about like what you guys have got going on, or realize?
Yeah.
Well, I think we just thought, we were like, this is crazy that we're in a similar situation at a similar time. And we're like, oh, maybe we should write a book. Like,
Interesting.
I was going to say, initially, so I was traveling through Europe last year for 4 months, and Beth lived over in London at that time. And I remember her and I were discussing the fact that like maybe I should start a blog about being single,
Right.
and like blog about dating overseas and stuff like that, because she was still with her partner at that time. And then bang, she's single, and we're like, oh, okay, so we're both in it together. And I think podcasting just made a lot more sense because we can fire back and forth. I know I'm a lot more of an easy talker than a writer for consistency. And then it kind of just went from there. Booked the studio and went for it.
That must be like, it must be comforting knowing, like, I know this sounds bad, but like when a friend becomes single, right?
Yeah.
And you're single, it's comforting for the person that just got broken up with, but it's also comforting, like, I finally have a companion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially at this age when everyone's like married, has kids. It's so nice to have a buddy.
Yeah,
a
and
single buddy.
I don't know if you know, but we're actually like step-sisters. So
No, I didn't know that.
yeah, so like
It's a
pretty much.
porno.
This is the wrong show for that.
Oh, fuck. Sorry to cut you off. It had to be made. I'm sorry. What am I supposed to do?
It's got to be one of us.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Just how
You
like
guys are stepsisters.
Oh, yeah. So like pretty much, like we're from a really big family, and all the other siblings are paired off. And we used to be a part of that. And then, it's kind of like we're the only two from the family who aren't with someone at the moment.
Right.
So it's nice that we've got each other on that front.
That's how I am in my family.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's single. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's good having podcasts.
Yes.
I can relate to what you guys are going through.
Yeah.
Because it's always good to have like the perspective of somebody else to talk to.
For sure.
And look, obviously this is the Roadshow. We don't really talk about like I don't go too deep in my relationships and stuff, but sometimes you do. Sometimes like that's where the conversation goes, you know? And it is hard when you become single all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And like having a goof about it, and you know, having a laugh, and realizing that it's actually good for you to be single, and you know, change your character a little bit.
I remember like I found my breakup particularly hard, and there weren't a lot of resources to listen to or anything like to help me feel like I wasn't alone in it. So I kind of wanted to be that, like we wanted to be that gap, like bridge the gap in that, because there's plenty of books and stuff like that, but there's not a lot of podcasts talking about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
We should do it.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like it's inspiring.
Thank you.
You know, like you saw something that you needed yourself, so you became that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's what all great motivators do.
Well, I think like it's the best way to come up with an idea, because
Think of what you need.
Yeah, what would I have needed
What's
in
lacking.
that time?
Yeah.
And then you become that for someone else.
So what's your main focal point in your podcast so far? Obviously it's called Suddenly Single, right?
Yes.
But is it about like your stories, or is it about...
Yeah, a bit. Like we mostly have covered dating topics.
Yeah, like we've covered cheating, red flags, and icks.
Oh, right.
Which was
okay,
interesting.
top 3 icks. Let's go.
Oh gosh.
Oh, top 3.
Yeah.
That's a hard.
We just covered this and I can't think of any at the minute.
Well, I do have this hilarious story about like a guy who had a really smelly bed. And so I think that's really climbed up there into one of my top 3.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it was pretty full on.
Wait, like what kind of smell?
Like you hadn't washed it ever?
The bed, right?
Yeah, well, most of the place.
Yeah. Like there's rubbish in his house, like pizza boxes on the floor.
And I didn't actually say this
slob.
on the pod, but like in the bathroom there were towels on the floor, and like clearly like he'd peed on them. So we just left.
What?
Yeah, and it was like, this is a beautiful apartment, like downtown Fremantle, really nice. And yeah, no.
Was he a drug addict?
No, unfortunately not.
Just a
That would have been a
slob?
good excuse, but yeah, I guess so. More like quite like a nerd type, I guess. So, I don't know.
He's ticking all the boxes. So.
Yeah, like, fuck, can I have his number?
You're welcome to it. I mean,
I want to play video games with this guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking crazy person.
yeah. So
Damn.
that's a pretty big ick.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah. It's like, oh,
It's giving me the ick just talking
think.
about
I know,
it now.
like makes my palms sweaty. I'm like,
Yeah.
gross. Not very romantic. Let's say that.
I wonder, like, where does that come from? That kind of like self-slobbishness. Like,
I think it's like,
do you reckon that's like like lack of parenting?
Or maybe like over parenting. Maybe
Oh,
he didn't get like he
yeah, true.
just was coddled and didn't have to do anything. So
Yeah.
he doesn't know how
And
to.
it's also like I'm a grown man living in my own place, so I can just do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, but like, come on.
Well, I would just think like,
just abandon humanity.
I
like.
know.
Especially because you have to live there. Wouldn't you be like, fuck my best
Especially if you
things?
want to bring like a girl home, like, don't you want to increase your chances of
Keeping
like
it.
sealing the deal?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know?
Doing it
But,
again.
yeah, there was like no way in hell anything was happening.
What the?
As soon as I stepped in, I was like,
Not the one.
not the one.
Okay, so explain the apartment. You walk in,
Yeah.
right?
There's a pizza box on the floor.
Straight away.
Yeah, straight away. And it's quite funny because he was like really late to the date. So
He was late.
he was late.
Well, like, let's be honest. Would you be if after seeing the apartment, would you?
I'm not surprised.
Yes, exactly. You know.
But so the kicker was he was definitely like a bit drunk when he arrived, and he'd been drinking red wine. It's because you could see it like around his mouth. And he had like red wine teeth. So
Alpha male.
Yeah,
That's what
oh,
we
yeah. And I'm like all for drinking red wine and stuff, like literally
Currently
right now.
doing
Yeah.
But like just do it with me, or like just wipe your mouth. So one of the first things I noticed was the open bottle of red wine sitting on his little table. So obviously he'd been sitting there like sculling it while I was waiting in the bathroom.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Look, it's normal to have a few drinks before a date.
oh
By yourself?
yeah, I've done it.
Oh yeah.
Out was there a glass next to the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, so,
I will give
there's
him
a
that.
little bit of class. You know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one notch up.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, but I think there was like maybe 2 or 3 Uber Eats like packages just on the couch. So it's kind of a difference.
So you're saying he's got some money?
well, yeah, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
But then the contents of the apartment didn't show that. Like beautiful apartment, but just not taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody who's probably a bit lost in life.
I think so. Yeah.
You know, when you got your shit together, what's that old Japanese saying? They like clean environment, clear mind, right?
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's Unfuck Yourself that says that.
Oh sure.
It's that book.
That book. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's disgusting. Second ick. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. You're up.
All right.
Well, mine was going to be bad breath, but I guess that's
Oh.
really close to.
It's very. Let's just say bad smells is a
Yeah,
pretty big one.
That's a big ick. What else did we talk about being bad ick?
Long nails is the thing for me.
That is pretty gross.
Long nails.
Yeah, like long either fingers or toes. I'm just like,
What about one hand for like a guitar player?
look, it still makes me feel a bit icky, but I'm like,
What? have
I
you-
understand the practicality.
Is it the barley shit nail
The
that
long-
throws you off?
No, it's like any white
Any what?
or like a yeah.
You guys continue talking. I've got to do something with this camera real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
What is it about the white though? Like, is it because it gets dirty underneath there?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I guess depends how long it is. For me, it's not. It's less of an ick.
I mean,
think it's
maybe
more.
not any white is a bit of an exaggeration, but
So funny.
I don't know why. It's not an ick that can like put you off for good, because obviously it's very easily fixed.
Yeah.
But I guess it just shows like, you know, if you haven't taken care of that, like what else is what else haven't you taken care of?
But what, clipping the nail or?
Yeah, like some dudes, like, they have real long toenails, and I'm
That's
just...
disgusting.
I also think of, like, okay,
If it scratches
if I
you?
want to spoon you in bed, like, if that thing touches me,
Oh.
like, consider me, like, as dry as the Sahara, honestly. Like,
Yeah. I don't like being scratched by a toenail either.
it's not a sexy
I
vibe.
kind of don't blame you. It's kind of filthy.
Yeah,
I
so...
had a girlfriend once, and she had the longest toenails,
Really?
and I bought 1,500 thread count sheets,
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
and her fat foot
Tore them up.
tore
Savage.
'em up.
Her
Yeah.
claws.
Shredded them.
It was talk away. Third ick. Let's go.
Third ick. All right.
Well, I loved the one that one of our listeners shared about the boardies being longer than the knees. You know, like really long boardies that go past your
Like
knees.
broad shorts.
Yeah.
It's like, just show us your kneecaps.
I don't know. It's just
Oh
weird,
yeah,
isn't
that
it?
is weird. That is weird.
Something about that's just really icky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, dorky.
or
isn't
like, it reminds me of, like, you know, Unit and, like,
oh, that
what were
brand.
those other brands? Yeah. Like, and they have, like, pictures of, like, girls' faces and smoke and stuff on them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
unit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see it on the back of like Commodores and stuff.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
That,
The the two main places you find that brand is literally Midland and Armidale. It's the only places you'll ever see that brand.
yeah.
that's an ick for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's not really in anymore, but you know, like the puffy skate shoes? So-
what do they call
Like elements
Or DCs.
DCs, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that's done with.
I used to have customs
Oh, yeah.
and I adored them.
I think I might have even had a pair at one point.
I think surely everyone did.
But they were cool then, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was cool when I was doing it.
Plus, the girl ones weren't as puffy. The
Yeah.
guy ones, for some reason, were really like a bubble foot. Combine that with the long boardies, it's just not a...
It was in there, and we had a table set up like at the end,
Yeah.
and like he would do all the video switching, so I wouldn't have to edit afterwards.
really?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick.
I know, right? And he would do all the Googling and stuff. And then when I moved in here, we haven't got the TV set up like on the wall,
Yeah.
and that's happening soon. So it's only been like 3 weeks since it's been in here, and it'll happen. But you know,
Well, it's pretty set up, all things considered.
Yeah, it looks
It's
good.
impressive that you have more to do.
yeah, it never ends, right? Like that's
Well, I imagine. Yeah, we're at the this stage.
Yeah, but I have to say, every single day I'm doing something on the podcast, like something for
Yeah.
it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I've got a list of about 100 things I need to do.
And then as soon as you get your video happening,
Oh God.
That's why I don't want to touch the video yet. I just
Yeah.
need to get fully across everything.
I'll tell you what to do, right? If you're going to do video, do your cameras like upright, like your phone cameras upright, so they're already TikTok ready.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
You
a
see
good
what I'm
idea.
saying?
Yeah,
And you can
yeah.
just realify it. But if you do them that way, it cuts away at the quality and everything kind of seems a little bit fuzzy.
So
Yeah, like...
It's for YouTube. Like,
Okay, okay.
yeah. I
are you trying to sabotage us?
yeah, what are you doing? No, because fuck, they're on to me.
If you turn your phone off.
I got some great advice. Just fuck your whole shit up. No. I'm one for the community. I'm very much about the podcast community. I've had other podcasters on here. I've been in other people's podcasts, and I think
believe
it's
you.
amazing that we can do this here in Perth now, which is
It's very cool.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you mean do it here in Perth? Could you not?
our community.
Oh.
Yeah, like the one thing that I love about like Los Angeles and New York.
Oh, wait, are you not Australian?
No, I am.
Okay.
But they all have podcast community.
sure.
They all do each other's podcasts.
Yeah,
Everyone
get
knows
you.
about them. And like, without collaboration, things go stale.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people start asking questions like, why is that dude always by himself? Or
Yeah.
like that. Do you know Chris D'Elia? He's a
Sounds
comedian.
familiar, but can't
long
place it.
hair, weird as fuck, dude.
Okay.
There was a girl that like came out claiming that he had messaged
know
her,
him. Yeah.
and she was 17 at the time,
Yeah.
Oh.
and he messaged her in a bad way, you know what I'm saying? But then he was like, oh no, I can't do this, and then messages her back on her 18th birthday, and they hook up. Mind you, he's married.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, so is she putting a claim out against him, but then she still hooked up with him?
She Me Too'd him and then fucked him.
That's
Oh my
fucked.
I know.
And the fact that he'd go back there after being...
Why wouldn't
Oh, I'd like. Well, I guess if you want to create rumors, like let's actually do it.
Yeah, like, I want to do the thing
That I'm getting in trouble for.
Well,
Yeah.
might as well get a payout and have a good time.
Exactly, but
It's kind of fucked up.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people that it's happened to them in Perth, but like they shouldn't have done it, obviously, and they did jail time.
Oh.
Yeah, and-
like for underage. Yeah, right.
But they didn't come on to the girl. The girl came on to them and then dobbed them in.
Yeah. Right.
Gosh, that's rough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so complicated.
Especially if you're like, if they're 17. I mean, obviously it's still under the age, but it's like you're a person then. Like you're aware of your own decisions. Like I don't know.
I don't know about that because I've met some 21-year-olds and they're fucking morons.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess in the way that like if they've pursued them, they're kind of
Yeah.
You know?
They had intention.
yeah, like different if they've been like groomed by an older man or like whatever.
Yeah.
Totally different. But
Yeah. And he was old,
yeah,
like 40s.
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
The person you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then to go back and hook up with an 18-year-old, that just gives.
No,
That's
I
an
think
ick.
that's the comedian. Different guy.
That was the comedian.
Oh, okay.
I think in this situation, I don't want to talk too much on it, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names. What if I do though? You're going to be fucked. She was 16. And yeah. Edit this part, Jacob.
Well, a lot of it has moved to obviously the online space now. You know, because I met him when I was 19, and there was still like Tinder and stuff was kicking off at that point in time, but there wasn't a lot of, as far as I was aware of, like Hinge and Bumble and all that kind of stuff. So I guess, yeah, in the time I was in a relationship, kind of moved a lot more to apps.
Yeah.
And COVID probably nudged that along as well.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
Yeah, because people had to online date.
They didn't have a choice.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing is, I think people are very different when they're dating at that age compared to when they're dating now because of the, like I mentioned before, like what they're expecting to find from that partner. Like, you know, if particularly for women, obviously you've got like a biological clock, and if you want to have a kid, it's like you kind of need to be a bit direct about that in the first rough time. Like, it's not saying like rush into it and have kids with a stranger or whatever, but if you're getting with someone at 19, it's like, okay, if it doesn't work out in a couple of years, no worries, because I've still got so much time. Whereas it's just weird being on the other end of that stick now, and yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I'm still like, I'm 28, so I've still got time, but yeah, it just really changes the game. It kind of adds a bit of pressure, I guess.
Especially when you're in a long-term relationship and you're gearing up for things like marriage or getting a house together or having kids together. So you're kind of directing your mindset towards that. And then to be single again, you're like, oh, now I just have to...
Yeah, well, like we were like trying to have a baby and
stands.
stuff, and then
Oh, wow.
like to flip back out of mum mode is like a really weird thing. Back into single mode, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's probably... I don't think about that as a male. Obviously,
Yeah.
we can have... Like, people having kids at 80 as a male.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Oh, yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah. But there's... I guess with the... How do I put this without sounding like a dickhead? Apps do a lot for social interaction, but they do a lot more for ego, like brushing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it's just like, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
You know, I think guys, like, I'm back on Tinder. Ugh. And
Tinder.
Well, and Hinge. I've got to have a happy medium.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Hinge is more the...
Yeah, I vote Hinge.
I vote Hinge
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And Tinder is literally just...
Booty calls.
Not even that. It's almost like a confirmation that you still got it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like a cycle. You feel lonely. You're like swipe right, match. Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're
like
like,
getting
fuck
likes
Tinder.
on your Instagram.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's almost
Yeah.
the halfway point between Hinge and Instagram.
Yeah.
Is Tinder now.
True.
It's like, it's the...
Immediate like gratification.
That's what it is, immediate gratification. Like,
Yeah.
do people want me? Yes, okay.
Great.
But nobody's
I'm still
here.
lovable.
Yeah.
Like, and you can kind of pretend, like, even if there's no one special in your life, it's like, yeah, but it's fine. I've got 30
options.
matches.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm still wanted.
Oh, shit. Well, I found out women don't have to pay for Tinder, right?
No.
Yeah, men do.
What?
For all accounts.
No. You can have the free one, but you get like 5 swipes.
Is that all?
Oh, really?
So you can't do the Tinder walk then?
No.
Not for free.
No.
You pay big bucks for that.
Yeah, 100%. I seen this this contraption, and it was like a gyro that was spinning, and it had like a finger, like a rubber finger, and it would just go around swiping right, and it would just like keep pushing it every time it stopped. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I find that Hinge is more open to having like actual conversations with people to find out who they are.
Yeah.
Where Tinder's like, it doesn't have that set of questions to finish your profile like Hinge does.
Yeah, the prompts are really good on Hinge.
Yeah, and you can hear someone's
Conversation
voice.
starters, yeah.
Like, that's a really important thing, because if I see a pretty girl and she's like, how's it going, mate? You're like, what the fuck is that? All right, show me it. You know, these trans are getting away with a lot of shit, you know. Oh, you want to hear a story?
Yeah.
All right.
Always.
Okay, so I was single when I was like 23, and I went to Paramount nightclub
Classic.
I know, but back before it had that new like Spanish vibe. It used to have like the dance club upstairs and the R&B club downstairs.
Yeah.
I was in the dance club upstairs doing my thing, you know. Came downstairs and we were leaving, and as I'm walking out, this babe looks at me and she's like, "You," like that. And I was like, "Me?" And she grabs me, masculine like grab, by the way, to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Picks you up.
Simbas, yeah.
And like I was like, at the time I was into it, obviously, and like pushed her up against the wall and started making out, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is crazy. Can I get your Facebook? I think it was at the time.
Your MySpace.
Yeah, can I get your MySpace? Are you Tom? And her name was I'm not going to say her name.
Sure.
I'm going to beep that out.
Yeah.
And I start talking to her on Facebook. We talk for a year.
Oh, wow.
Don't see her again.
A year.
A year. And I was like, hey, can I meet, like, you know, it's like you're sending me all these like titty photos and like these cute little behind the back shots and stuff. And I was like, this is
Booty
good.
shot.
Booty shot. And then front on shots. And I was like, okay, right. This is, she wants it.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's meet up. And she's like, I don't think you would be into what I'm into.
Oh.
And I was like,
try me.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that not make you more intrigued? Like,
no, the first thing that went through my head is, she's got a dick.
Yeah.
oh, she probably
Interesting.
wanted to peg you.
Did she?
No. But yeah, she said, I'm trans.
She legit did what?
Pre-op.
Oh.
So she had a cock still. And I was like,
Oh,
you tucked it perfectly.
yeah.
Just letting you know, but I don't want any part of this. But that tuck,
Nice.
really good.
I mean, if there's ever like a time to try it.
And then that happened again.
Oh, another person?
There was another one.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why are all these dudes so hot? But they weren't. Like, they were girls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it was strange because I had this picture in my head. Like, I was like, I know, like, that this is a girl. You know, I made out with her.
Yeah.
But it was a dude. I'm like, oh, no.
That is a bit of a mindfuck.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they've still got the gear. You're like seeing two different things.
Do they have boobs or no?
Yeah, had boobs. Yeah. I like how you said they.
Well, because
Was it-
there's two of them? Or?
Yeah, just the one. Yeah, you covered your ass just
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's wild to think that like that's an option, and so many trans girls are on Tinder. That's what my point was.
Really?
With that.
Do
Yeah.
they disclose it?
No, they don't tell you.
They don't tell you.
No, well, some do, and like they're the ones that you can fucking tell. You know, they got
Yeah.
the big hands and an Adam's
Bit
apple.
of an apple. Yeah.
Yeah. or a cock.
Yeah, like
Dead
what is
giveaway.
that? What is that bulge?
Yeah. Why are you bulging, bro? What's going on here? Yeah, and Hinge doesn't have that kind of stuff, which is really interesting, which makes me think that there's, and like I get a lot of gay guys on my Tinder, but I've specifically clicked straight, only see like women.
Really?
Yeah, and guys will come up. So I'm thinking like
Interesting.
guys will even say that they're women.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah, to get with straight guys who might be bi-curious but are scared.
Yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
want to click by curious.
Yeah, yeah.
If they just happen to slide in at the right time.
Yeah, and then you like imagine. Well, you've got maybe if you're involuntary celibate. There you go. That's a
Yeah.
fucking mouthful.
Yeah.
Incel. That's what you call
Incel,
it.
yeah.
If he doesn't have any friends and a guy comes up and you swipe right just to say hello, this could be a new friend, and this guy's like, you know, drugged you and fucked you in the arse, or I don't know. Yeah, you're like, Matt, you did me wrong.
We were supposed to be
Yeah,
friends.
this 2-player game's going too long. I'm gonna go pee on my towel. Yeah, that's the fucking thing, right? It's such a strange time to be single. That's
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is.
I mean, I wasn't on the apps before I started dating my partner, who I was dating for
5 years.
5 years, and so it was such a weird kind of world to come into, is the like, dating apps. It's crazy.
Mm.
I mean,
Are you on there now though?
well, I'm kind of seeing someone, but it's still
Yeah.
early days.
Oh, you don't want to ruin the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, damn it, she tagged out early.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But yeah.
So when you guys both get married, is it going to be called Suddenly Married?
Probably.
That'd be
No.
cool.
We're actually.
Yeah, we
no.
have to get married at the same time.
Oh, same day.
Yeah. We can
Joint
just do, like all through all the stages of our life, like suddenly pregnant.
Yeah, yeah. Come now.
Max, did you get it?
Stay on the phone. Stay on the phone. It's nearly done.
Tell him to hurry up.
Oh shit, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. Like, so have you guys decided that you're going to be doing this for a while?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're keen on it.
What's the plan? Do you want your own studio?
For now, I'm pretty happy.
Doing
At the hen house is pretty awesome.
shout out Hen House, by the way.
Yeah,
They
shout
do
out.
a lot for
They
the
are
music
awesome.
industry.
Like, the only thing that's a bit of a bummer is the travel for us to get
Where are
there.
you guys?
Just in Freo.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're coming north for it.
Mm.
Is there anywhere down in Freo?
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, well, maybe
but-
we'd have to look into that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, hen house is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, from next week, actually, we haven't announced to our peeps yet, but we're starting a segment called the Midweek Moment. So we're starting like mini episodes on a Wednesday as well. So
Nice.
yeah, we're kind of upping the content as we go, and then we'll see where that takes us.
So how's it being received by the audience so far?
So good.
Yeah?
Actually, just as of this afternoon, we've had 1,000 plays in our first month,
Nice.
which is like, I'm so stoked with that.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously don't have much of a basis of comparison, but
No, but
I feel like
think
that's
that's
good for a couple of
It's
noobs.
very good.
We're like nearly at 600 downloads too.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's good that people aren't just kind of clicking it and then stopping. It's like people are engaged, and
Are you just on Spotify right now?
and Apple Podcasts
And YouTube?
Google Podcasts as well.
No,
Because we haven't been recording like
You don't need
videos, don't you?
to. No. Just take your artwork
Yeah.
and layer it
Oh, sure.
and chuck it up on YouTube.
Do you get a lot of views on YouTube? Is that your
That's
like,
my main.
biggest hitter?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sweet.
good to know.
YouTube's great because it also has community things on there as well. So like people can like comment and then you can comment back and then start a actual chat line on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do like weekly questions or something. And
Yeah.
We
That's
do
fun.
that anyway on Instagram.
Which is fun, like the polls. Yeah.
Yeah, we tend to do a big poll before we record.
Then sense of humor.
Took me a minute, that one. God, I'm a bit rusty.
Rusty Paul.
No, thank you.
No. That reminded me of that what's it? 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, such a classic.
So bad. Such a classic movie.
Yeah.
What do you guys predict is going to happen with the whole, like, the space for dating? Because there's so much, like, happening right now with, like, AI technology. And, like, okay, so there's a bunch of guys that have been relying on AI. It's called, I always forget its name, but it mimics how a woman would talk to them.
Yeah, interesting.
And they've now recently, like, in the last 2 weeks, they changed the policy and they took all dirty talk off. And they're saying, my girlfriend doesn't talk to me like that anymore.
Oh.
She's changed. My girlfriend's changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're invested.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. They fall into this kind of trap. And you can have, like, deep fakes, right? So you can have, like, a fake girl that's talking, and you can have text to voice, and then she'll actually be there talking to you. It's like,
That's pretty full on.
it's full on, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that's a healthy habit to embark on.
But I think it's definitely the way that the world will go. Like, I think, where you can have those virtual realities, like, that show that we were watching where he goes on dates in his VR.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it was like real people, and they were like on a date. It's like a dating platform,
app.
but like virtual.
And that's how you match, is like you walk around and you actually like match with the...
And you can pick your location if you want to go to a bar or whatever.
Yeah, pick the date. You can change your outfit and stuff. It's full on.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's not...
but then you're actually like... The idea is to actually meet the person. It's like a dating app, but more futuristic.
Yeah, so say you were like messaging someone on Hinge... The version of that would be like chatting to them in a bar, in a virtual bar situation. And then ideally you'd take it into real life, but the guy got scammed by a bot or something.
Yeah.
As you would expect to happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's not always going to be a girl.
And even on Hinge.
Look like yeah, even in real life.
They might tuck it real good.
Yeah, exactly. Tuck the cord back. Happy days. Yeah, but that's a real thing. There's a guy in England. No, he went to England. He was from America. And he was talking virtually to this girl just over text. And I think they did some video calls, but they now suspect that the video calls were deep fakes. He gives her 20 grand.
Oh,
He goes to England twice. Both times she says family issues came up. I can't see you.
Classic.
Oh.
And then she ghosted him.
Of course she did, because she got the money and then...
Yeah.
It's a real bummer.
I don't know who got the money, but someone did.
Most likely it's probably... like you hear a lot about like African scammers and stuff like that. The reason as to why they're so good at it is because they're so good with technology.
Yeah.
There's a story of an African scammer who created a fake airport and then sold it for $1 billion to Tokyo.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
No. And then he just ghosted them.
That's the most epic ghosting.
Yeah.
You got to be thinking, no, surely.
And
they haven't just transferred me the money.
Yeah.
This can't be real.
And it's like Tokyo. You'd feel like they'd be pretty tech switched on.
Yeah, true.
Like,
Japan's supposed to be like really across it.
Yeah, but they've just
Like,
you
cool,
know
like
what?
airport.
We need an airport.
Yeah. But the airport was based in like Johannesburg or something. They were buying up property in another country.
Sure.
Yeah, because obviously the more property you own, the more of that country you control.
Yes. Obviously they didn't do their research, but
Interesting. Wow.
it's kind of like the best scam of all time. I'm not even
So,
mad about it.
Yeah. What can we sell?
Yeah, he's like the king now. Airports for everybody.
You get one.
He's like Oprah with airports. Look under your seat. It's an airport. Oh, damn. So what are you guys planning to do with the podcast? I know I've asked it a couple of times now. What is the plan?
Well, I think we're just doing what we're doing at the moment. Obviously, we're just enjoying the experience and the learning of it, trying to grow a following and our name. But, I mean, you just look at people like the Inspired Unemployed, or, I don't know, where you just become...
Even Call Her Daddy. Like, I started listening to her right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And now look at her.
She's massive.
Like, yeah.
And then from there, once you get your name known, you can start any kind of side hustle, and you've got like the following to help spur your ideas along. So it really opens up, I don't know, everything.
I think it would be cool to maybe eventually do some public speaking or like co-hosting or it is a bit of a dream of ours to write a kids book.
Oh, wow.
yeah, kind of telling our story and stuff.
Like, it's okay to be alone. Little Timmy said.
To the broken-hearted Lucy.
Yeah. We're halfway there. Look at this.
Wait, let me get this. It's
That's
okay.
still my idea. It's copyrighted.
Well, not about the story of being single, but more about how we met. Like, because just briefly, if you don't know, like we used to live across the road and we were best friends.
Oh, right.
And then our parents met and they got married, so we became
That's a cool
sisters.
story.
Family
Yeah,
bunch.
yeah, which is pretty cool. So it's sort of like a Brady Bunch situation, and
Right.
there's been just some cool things we could talk about in different books and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, how old were you guys when your parents got together?
Like 6 and 5? I was
Yeah.
6, you were 5?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
Early
teenage.
doors,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. We've got a photo that we're going to share soon of us, like just hugging each other as besties. I think this is before we were sisters, so that's pretty fun.
Do you guys take all accountability for your parents getting together?
Quite a bit of it.
Oh, well.
I mean, I'm sure it helped because we made them spend time with each other because we would just nag to go and hang out with the other one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it played a huge part.
And the other thing was like both of our parents had come from a very recent like traumatic background.
Mm.
So I'm sure that bonded them as well because
Right.
Yeah.
they both had kids. They both had like abusive partners previously.
Oh,
and
shit.
then to meet each other and both be in the same situation, I'm sure that helped them connect.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a woman.
Aren't you?
We
I thought you were
jumped
doing a
it too
good tuck.
quickly.
Was it the beard?
He's got the tape on. Like,
Is it a traumatic experience to come out of a relationship for a woman?
for me, it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
In what way?
I just loved him too much.
No.
And I like sacrificed too much. And then when it was over, it was just like, I don't know, just such an insane change. While like I did so many cool things, it was just like the world as you know it is completely over. So you kind of just have to like rebuild yourself from scratch.
Now, I take it was him that... or was it-
Complicated.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to tell that story
No.
online, but it was a bit of both, to be honest. Like it was my decision to leave,
Yeah.
but things were kind of going down that path anyway, I feel.
I
So-
feel like a lot of breakups these days are instigated by women.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit of like a feminist movement, I guess, and people are
Standing up for
realizing their
themselves.
worth and like just not putting up with as much shit.
There's a lot of weak ass men too, let's be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting age because like some men have really like grown up and found who they are and matured and stuff, but some are so far behind and they're not willing to kind of like figure their shit out.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
It goes both ways. I think
Of course it
also,
does, yeah.
as we like alluded to before, COVID, I think was a massive realization for a lot of people with their careers, relationships and things like that. I think everyone kind of reevaluated everything
what was
during
important and yeah.
Because I think I noticed a lot after COVID and during COVID, people separating, changing jobs, making big life decisions
Yeah.
off the spur of that.
Yeah, because when I don't know, when you have that bit of your freedom taken away, it just makes you assess everything. And it's
Yeah.
like, but probably the hardest part for me was like when because he moved on like relatively quickly, and that was probably the most difficult, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that's a woman-specific problem. I think that would happen to anyone. Like, man or woman could be traumatized by a breakup. It's just depends on how it all happens and how much you really invested and how much you like really love that person.
Yeah. See, my story for my last breakup, and I'm open, I'll talk about this. When I get into a committed relationship, everything is like on the line,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And what happened was she split up with me because I was just too much
Okay.
to begin with, right? And then she's like, actually, I really love you. I want to get back together. And by that point, I was half in. You know, I had like one foot out the door, but I was like, yeah, I still love her though. You know, she like, I thought that she was going to have my children.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Which is a big deal.
Yeah, this is the first time in my life that I was ever like, I want to have kids, and this is the woman that I want to have kids with.
Wow.
So I was like, let's give it another go. But I think what it did, that breakup in the first place, was it set me up to fail, because literally I was like, oh, okay, she loves me for me. And as a man, a woman, like in my eyes at least, is like somebody you need to protect, somebody that you're willing to sacrifice for and give security to, and also provide for, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't willing to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I feel like it's so hard to come back from those kind of discussions or any breakup I've ever had. I just feel like I'm mentally out. Like I can't.
Yeah, even
go
if you
back,
still
I
have
feel
love, it's like things are different.
Yeah. Like
and
you
that has
can't
to be
erase
accounted for. Like if you're going to try again, you have to acknowledge that it's not the same, and like maybe pivot in a different direction.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you can do it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I haven't really ever given it a proper go, but I think I would find it really difficult.
It's same if trust has been broken, it's very hard to like come back from that fully. Like you can do so much, but it's I don't know. It's like if you crack a plate, like it doesn't matter how much glue you put in there. There's always going to be a crack.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
Nice.
But yeah, it's sort of, I don't know. It's a bit irreversible, but I think it can still work, but you both have to be willing to acknowledge, okay, it's not quite the same. Like let's make it work the way that it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think at that point in time, probably I was willing to give up on my podcast, my music, everything.
Oh man.
For
like
her.
To be with her?
Yeah, prior to the breakup.
Yeah.
And then after it, I was like, no.
Did you need to give up on that though?
No, that's the thing. That's what fucks me up, right? Because a man without a purpose is like a lazy, arrogant piece of shit.
Yeah, you still need to have your passions.
Yeah. And that was the dichotomy that I was going through at that time. I was like, it's her or that or that. And I was like, no, I can have it both. And this is the realization that I had at that point when I was single.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I can have it both. And that's why I was willing to go back into it, but it had to be mediated.
Yeah.
And then after a while, my happiness came more from my creativity.
Yeah.
Than another person.
Yeah. And I think it was mainly because I wasn't putting enough into the relationship because I'd already been hurt. The trust had been broken. Like, you can just up and leave me all of a sudden.
Yeah, like it was that easy for you to cut this away without just like more conversations.
Yeah.
Which means like, why would I sacrifice anything if you could leave? Like I want to have my thing so I'm not just left with nothing.
That's
like
exactly
we both
it.
had that kind of thing happen where we just like realized how easily this person could
and
just
how
kinda,
entangled your lives be, and like,
you're like, wait, I've been giving up so much for you. Like I think about you all the time, and then like you could just do this so easily.
Yeah.
Like that says a
Instantly.
lot.
Yeah.
it's a lot of power to invest in one person.
It is.
And it also puts pressure on your partner because then they are responsible for your happiness, which is not how it should be.
No.
So it's like you got to be really careful because you sort of set yourself up to fail if you just compromise for them all the time. Like you have to be your own people and then come together as a team as well.
Yeah.
Because like eventually, especially like imagine if you have kids or whatever, and like the primary caretaker, it's like they're at home all the time. Like they don't have anything else going on, and if they're just constantly trying to get attention or whatever from the other partner, like they're both gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Like you got to have your own shit.
Yeah. You need to be interested in things that keep you like mentally alive.
Yeah.
So you can be there for the person when the time comes.
Yeah.
You know, if you let your enthusiasm die for just general life, well then where's the enthusiasm in the relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And also like what happens then if you break up? You've got no one, you've got no hobbies anymore, and you're starting completely from scratch.
Yeah, that's why I was very happy that
Good
I
on you. Like,
didn't let go of it. But also at the same time, you know, like it's a learning process. They say the person in your life is either a lesson or a blessing.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
So if you can't find the good in them, move on, get that lesson.
Take it for what it is, and
and move through it, because there's always like growing to be done.
Yeah, I think any kind of bad thing that happens typically is a blessing in disguise. Like it often makes you grow up a lot quicker or learn a lot. And then, I don't know, lots of good things. Like, I feel like from our breakups, lots of good things have happened.
I mean, I never would have thought of doing a podcast.
No, or
So-
just like the fun stuff that we've been
Yeah,
doing
all
and
the
like
travel and
people we've been meeting. It's,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah. It's a highlight for life, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like you remember good times in relationships, and that's what makes the relationships good. But you kind of like that shadows sometimes how good single life can be.
Yeah.
How spontaneous you can be when you're by yourself.
And it's nice to just be able to make your own decisions all the time.
Mhm.
Well, it's good practice too. I feel like sometimes I've become a bit lazy with making decisions, and it's you lean on the other person to be like, what do you want to have for dinner? Or like, you know.
The age old
Oh,
myth.
yeah. That was like that's
But
a
it's
big
like,
debate.
you know, just being your own person. You're like, wait, what do I want to
Like,
have?
yeah.
Like, I have to make this decision myself.
Mm.
And it makes you like get more in touch with yourself because you like
Yeah.
really think about, okay, like, how do I want to spend my money? Or like, how do I want to spend my time? Or who do I actually want to hang out with? Or,
Yeah.
which, yeah, I find that to be really cool. Like, I feel like I know myself much better than I did before.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think it also, like, maybe if this resonates with you, let me know, because when I'm by myself and I just have my income, right, and I'm not providing for somebody else, it's fucking way more fun. You know what I'm saying?
It is pretty fun.
It's fun. And
Yeah.
it gives you a sense of work ethic. It gives you a sense of, like,
Independence.
responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you want to splurge on something, you can just fucking do it.
Yeah, and you can plan for it. Or if
Yeah.
it's something massive, you know, like a crucial life decision, like getting a house, getting a new car, whatever the fuck it is, that becomes like, oh, this is the goal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to wait for confirmation to do this
Yeah.
because this person also has goals and we have to put money into
Compromise.
this.
And I'm
Yeah.
not like following their goals. Like, this is purely mine.
Yeah.
And it's also
Yeah.
once you do the thing, you're like, I did this. Oh, like, I bought a
Completely
fucking house
alone.
on my own.
Yeah.
I haven't done that, but I will.
You will. 100%.
Give it time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having that satisfaction of
Yeah.
completing something all on your own. It's so inspiring and like,
It's very satisfying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm.
Well, ladies, thank you very much for coming down today.
No
Thank
worries.
you. Thanks for having us.
Where can people find you?
So we're on Instagram, Suddenly Single Podcast.
Yeah.
And on there you can find a link tree. So you can send us like anonymous funny stories or messages or anything like that.
And you address them on the podcast?
Yeah, we read them all out.
Awesome.
We love
So-
them. They're so good.
Yeah, we've got a segment called The Tea Time and we share everyone's juicy tea. So it's really fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts as well.
So check us
Yeah.
out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming down once again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Roadshow. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks.
Take me home, I wanna know if you're